I'm going to get everybody pregnant in Nashville, Tennessee, Zanies, Tuesday the 25th and Wednesday the 26th. And then, check it out, I'm not done yet, in Knoxville, Tennessee, at Side Splitters, Thursday, September 27th. Nashville, 25th and 26th. Knoxville, the 27th. Everybody's getting pregnant!
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game change.
Donuts.
Oh, yeah!
Hey, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, yeah.
In the opening credits of this show, Tracy Morgan says, how the fuck you gonna be great if you don't study greatness? Our guest studied greatness like a dozen different times and in different ways. Sam Sheridan, author of the book I probably reference most on this podcast, second place probably being Outliers. Sam Sheridan wrote one of my all-time favorite books, A Fighter's Heart, and then followed it up with A Fighter's Mind, which I also read, and I can't tell you enough. You're our first author, first of all. Hold that close to your mouth there.
Sorry,
Freddie.
you got it.
You're our first author, so welcome to Fake Mustache Studios.
Nice.
You are the first. Other people have been here that have written books, but you're our first actual, like, holy shit, I love that guy's books.
Wow.
We reference it a lot here.
That's awesome, man. I know, it's awesome. It's so cool to hear it. You know, you're never going to go wrong telling me you like my book, you know.
I really like your book.
I liked it.
Written yet? I like.
I liked it. Yeah. Well, I got the new one's coming, so you're gonna get it tomorrow or the next day or something.
You can order, and yes, this is a plug for both of us. But if you look, I have not steered you guys wrong. Was I wrong about Burning Love and Ken Marino? Wrong. Was I wrong? No. Was I wrong about Bad Brains? No. Was I wrong? I have not. Was I wrong about Ray Mancini and what a great story that was? No. Just, I'm telling you, you don't have to be a fan of fighting to love the human element and the perseverance and the extraordinary nature. It's a fighter's heart. I want you to emphasize the word heart when you're reading this book, because it's a real exploration of these men's and gals' hearts. So go to the Amazon link on jmohr.com and order Sam's book. Sam's on Twitter, but you don't really check it often.
I don't tweet enough, and I suck at it, and I get yelled at for not tweeting enough. So I'm working on it. It's a work in
because after the
progress.
podcast, people will bombard you.
Oh right, yeah, I know.
Like, I fucking loved your book, and they'll hashtag like weird things that we've said.
So I don't even know how that works. I mean, we can talk later.
It's a number sign,
right?
But for some reason, number sign has become hashtag.
Yeah, no, I'm something of a Luddite about like the whole Twitter thing. And you know what it is I get good quotes and I try to fit them in, and then I gotta keep shrinking them, and I end up with something I'm like, I don't even like this anymore, and then, you know, for the 140 characters, and that's what
I can't even remember how many characters it is when I go. Like, some guy was asking me about my stance on abortion on Twitter. I said,
it's a little longer than that.
Yeah, I tweeted.
It's a little more nuanced.
I tweeted, I'm pro-choice, but I'm also pro-women choosing to not let guys come inside them. And then
did that make it?
Huh?
Did that make it?
That made it. And they're like, what the fuck? Then you're pro-choice, you know? I go, and then people just, you know, anything political gets met with. There is nothing more, the number one douchebaggery, aside from grammar police, which I understand is a mistake, but like, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Like, you know, I'm taking a shit.
You know what I meant.
The baby's crying. I'm typing quickly. You know, you knew what I meant. The other one is, when you stick to comedy. Whenever you do anything political.
Fuck you.
Like I was live
swear on
tweeting.
here? Is that
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Right, yeah. that's
like when you
terrible.
stick to comedy, like nobody wants to hear your opinions. To which the best reply in the world is, "Then why am I reading your opinions?"
Right.
Like you just told me your opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah. Why are you talking to me? Why are we even having this conversation?
And people were so free, like, you're pro-choice and you're Catholic. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, I'm not a woman. I can't make woman part decisions in good conscience. That doesn't mean it sits
Absolutely.
well with me.
Yeah, no, listen,
So-
I'm happy I'm not an abortion, but I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with
By
their life.
default, I'm pro-choice
Yeah.
because I can't tell you what to do with your vagina holes.
Absolutely. I can barely tell me what to do with my day. You know, I'm not going to tell anybody else.
Your book starts, and we'll go kind of linearly.
Sure.
If that's a word. You're the Harvard grad.
It is.
You graduated from Harvard, first of all. What'd you get on your SATs?
I actually was on the low end. I got like a 1330 or something.
Yeah,
like
sounds low.
Well, for Harvard, I was like way under the average.
So, did you just got in because you were black, or?
Yeah, because I'm a 7-foot black man and I can rebound. No, I got in because I actually was a really good painter. Surprisingly enough, I was an artist, and I had a really good portfolio, and I could have gone to art school, and probably not to brag, but I could have gone to almost any art school probably. And
But you weren't an art major at Harvard.
No, well, I was a visual and environmental studies major.
Is that a real thing?
Yes, concentration, not a major, by the way. We concentrate, we don't major. Yeah. They have the whole thing going on. But yeah, it was supposed to be more designy, but I painted. And I actually went to London for a year and was at the Slade School. And if anybody is from London, they'll know the Slade School is like a good painting school. So
a lot of English listeners.
A lot of Brits on here. Yeah.
We do.
Good. Yeah.
A lot of
Slade.
Aussies, a lot of Brits.
Yeah. Nice.
So you're at Harvard boxing for fun at the Harvard
Badly,
gym?
yes. Yeah. We had a great coach, this guy, Tommy Rawson, who...
Well, how great was he if you were boxing badly?
Because, I was like smoking and drinking and chasing, a tail and all that. But he was, exactly like Mick from Rocky, 33 New England lightweight champ. His dad had been a bare-fisted guy. Didn't know anybody's name, come on, slugger. That was his whole
By
thing.
bare-fisted, you mean he fought...
His dad had been bare-fisted.
His dad fought
Yeah.
when they actually didn't wear gloves.
Yeah, back in 1908 or whatever. But Tommy's passed on recently, but he was a kind of a legend in the Boston boxing scene. He was the guy when Tyson was fighting Hurricane McNeely. They went to him and he was like, "This fight sucks," and they were like, "Cut, like get him out of here." Got the hook on him and pulled him off. But I boxed there pretty badly and got bit by the bug. I had been looking for what to do and what to play. I had played high school sports pretty badly, and boxing was amazing. Because you're getting in fights and not really getting hurt. Of course, I didn't know at the time that you really are getting hurt, but at the time, you feel like nothing hurts and doesn't matter, and you get punched in the face and. Whatever. You get a mouth guard in and you get your headgear on, and it's just so exciting to have hey, this guy's trying to kill me in this moment, and then the bell rings and we're not trying to kill each other. And for me, it was a real, just a revelation in like an emotional connection to a sport, and an enjoyment.
The word emotional is what sticks out to me, that there was an emotional connection.
It was exciting. I think I was bored. I mean, it was kind of like the antithesis of Nintendo, you know what I mean? Because Nintendo was just coming in, when I was in junior high and all that stuff.
If idle hands are the devil's work, then certainly boxing must be the Lord's work.
Exactly.
You're really doing a lot with your hands.
Yeah, exactly. You better be.
But that's not, boxing's maybe the genesis of the journey that we're about to go on, because I think you were actually taking a shit reading a magazine in the back of the gym.
When
you saw an ad for the Fairtech gym.
No.
Like I said, you were not.
I was actually sailing around the world, which is close to taking a shit sometimes, but not always. No, when I got out of college, I got jobs I got offered a job on a sailboat, and I figured I had to take it, because it would never happen again. So this guy offered me, you want to fix up this boat and sail around the world? And I said, sure.
Isn't that also how most gay pornos start?
Yes, it is.
Hey, you in the boxing trunks.
Yeah.
I got a sailboat.
Yeah.
Why don't you come with me? Do some odd jobs. We'll go around the world, suck it.
Whoa. Wait. Here's the funny thing is, we did a refit. Part of the refit was in Miami, And one of the skippers was, I had a gay skipper who was also like a badass. Like, you wouldn't fuck with this guy. He could climb up an 80-foot mast. I mean, that's terrible in the window. Yeah. I didn't even need to say that, and I'm glad you did. So
We have a lot of gays, so
that's good. That's good. Yeah, Simon Johnson. He used to run a boat called the Gay Gordon, but he was a good refit.
Wait. That's a gay guy you knew? That's the name of the skipper?
He came on as a skipper, and he helped me. He was one of the refit skippers.
And the name of his boat was the Gay Gordon.
No, it was the Gordon. It was the Richard Gordon or the Robert Gordon. It was a famous ship in the Caribbean.
And you called it the Gay Gordon.
Everyone
behind his back.
called it the Gay Gordon.
Behind his back.
No. Oh, no. Nobody cared. He didn't care. I mean, it was like the gay, charter scene. And we're getting a little off track here, but we can get into it. The gay charter scene in the Caribbean, it's a whole thing. Which I did not really know about. But.
From a young age, it seems like you needed some adrenaline button pushed at all times, whether it be boxing, selling. Like, look, let's be honest. Nobody sells around the world that isn't on a real big search for something. Nobody thinks it's a neat idea because I'll just go hang out.
I don't know. I mean, I agree.
In the middle of nowhere
I agree.
For a very long time.
I mean, part of this was the problem with writing a book was I'm not that introspective a person. And I had to become, a little more thoughtful about the why I did things. I went on the first press I ever did. I went on the Daily Show, and Jon Stewart goes, "So why'd you do it?" And I was like, "Well, why not?" And that's not a good enough answer.
No, they don't like me.
It's not good enough. So I guess I actually did some research with the shrink about being an adrenaline junkie, and there's the sensation seeking scale, which how do you rate and whether your endorphins are so naturally low you need much more stimulus just to feel normal. There's guys like that, and certainly I wondered about that, and it's possible. I wouldn't say that was why I did it. I think I had even as a little kid, my parents were they really exposed me to a lot of things and pushed me in a lot of directions. And I just wanted to be, I wanted to be Conan. I wanted to explore the world and be Tarzan and do all those things. And
I think what makes you interesting, a lot of things make you interesting, but what separates you from the pack, we all wanted to be Conan. We all wanted to be badasses. But you did it in a bunch of different ways. Like, were you a fireman?
Yeah, no, that was, later I became
Fire jumping?
I was a Gila hotshot. I was a hotshot, which is a little different than smoke jumping, but I applied and I got offered a smoke jumping job in the Cascades, and that was the same time I started selling writing, so I had to kind of choose.
So what I'm saying is, we all wish we were Conan. We all wish we were the guy that saves the baby from the burning building.
Right.
And we all wish we got in the ring at Harvard. We all wish we got into Harvard. We all wish we could
I don't know if
fight.
we do.
We all wish we
Right.
could Muay Thai kickbox.
No,
we all
totally.
wish we could meet Dan Gable and wrestle around with him and pick his brain for a day or two.
Right.
We all wish we could meet Pat Miletich and go to the Pat Miletich fighting system and learn about the ins and outs of the UFC. You sort of did all of it. The Boston Globe said that Sam Sheridan has crossed the globe for the past decade in search of his own adrenaline. You said in A Fighter's Heart, you figured I had already done the not doing it part of my life, which just rang true in its simplicity for me. My whole life, I've not done a whole bunch of shit. But you had to have been like 22-ish?
Yeah, well, it just started,
That's a young age to have such a profound knowledge that you're about to go on a huge, long-ass journey.
I don't think anybody ever goes on a journey with that kind of foresight. I think you sort of look at your options.
What about the band Journey?
They do. Well, Steve Perry does, not the band.
Yeah, not the weird Filipino guy with Steve Perry.
But you just sidetracked me. Like
no, you don't.
I know Steve Perry.
You didn't think you were going to go on such a
well,
long journey.
yeah. I was just taking the best option going. It's like, hey, this guy offered me a job, and
so you're sailing around the world. You see an ad in a magazine.
Yeah, kickboxing magazine. Oh, I missed boxing. I missed fighting. I was like seriously out of shape, smoking and drinking, and I was living in Australia or wherever. And
no, what do you mean whatever? I mean,
we were moving around.
Okay,
we had a combi van with flowers painted on it, and we were chasing. We were pretending to be longboarders, and that was a crazy thing. But it was me and another guy who I met in who was the engineer, and we quit together. But
you're like the original Gemini astronauts.
What do you mean?
They just surfed all day and just chased puss.
Yeah.
There was there wasn't a space program.
Right. They're like,
Kennedy said,
we're in great
going to
shape.
put a man on the moon by the end of the century, and these are the 8 fucking guys, and then they go down to Cocoa Beach, and they're like, have you guys built a rocket yet? They're like, just sit tight, by the end of the decade, we're all going to be on the moon. And so they're all in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and people are like, those are the guys that are going to the moon. Let's have sex with them.
But you know what? I bet that prepared them, just as well as the space program. I mean, like,
a lot of strange
surfing,
pussy on the moon.
A lot of strange pussy.
Of surfing.
You're dealing with new situations. You're hitting on girls, and you're telling them all kinds of stories.
It's called the Sea of Tranquility because of its tasty waves, bro. Those guys are fags. The Russians.
Come on, you get in great shape surfing. They're all toned and tanned.
Yeah. In the opening credits of this show, Tracy Morgan says, "How the fuck you gonna be great if you don't study greatness?" Our guest studied greatness like a dozen different times and in different ways. Sam Sheridan, author of the book I probably reference most on this podcast, second place probably being Outliers. Sam Sheridan. Everybody's getting pregnant.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I have to do. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
Oh, yeah!
Hey, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get everybody pregnant in Nashville, Tennessee, Zanies, Tuesday the 25th and Wednesday the 26th. And then, check it out, I'm not done yet, in Knoxville, Tennessee, at Side Splitters, Thursday, September 27th. Nashville, 25th and 26th. Knoxville, the 27th. Sheridan wrote one of my all-time favorite books, A Fighter's Heart, and then followed it up with A Fighter's Mind, which I also read, and I can't tell you enough. You're our first author, first of all. Hold that close to your mouth there.
Sorry,
sweetie.
you got it.
You're our first author, so welcome to Fake Mustache Studios.
Nice.
You are the first. Other people have been here that have written books, but you're our first actual, holy shit,